All
you
of the crunching.
are you crunching?
No, you are.
You're crunching.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Pretty sure. Screenshot mode. Beautiful.
If you knew what I knew, you might be crunching too.
Oh yeah? Oh yeah, I need to mute my laptop. And or open all of this stuff.
Jinx is just sitting next to me purring.
No. Let me double check the Twitch.
I'll try to mute.
Can you hear the turtle filter? Do I need to turn off the turtle filter?
I currently can't hear the turtle filter.
Alright, then we're doing great.
What were you gonna say, Never? I'm sorry.
I don't know.
You said you'll try and mute.
Oh, during crunchies.
Let me get a sound check real quick from you guys.
YouTube video is live.
There are books everywhere in here.
I do hear something when you're talking, but that could just be a little bit of a buzz. Glenn, it might just be a slight buzz on the mic or something.
Yeah, because I don't have a push to talk, so whatever it is, it might just be in my voice. I might just be rumbly today. It's the exhaustion.
Okay. I think we're good. Even when Gwen's a little lighter or a little quieter, it seems like it's probably going to be good. So let me nab any of this other stuffs here real quick.
Yeah.
I'll just pick it. There's so many things. They're all going to be open. It's going to be nuts. I'll just wait and I'll nab them as we go.
Okay.
I just got to make sure that I get over to the mod for the creator dashboard. Give me 2 seconds. I'll be there and then we'll be good. Because then I'll be able to stream manage. Perfect. And yes, and... Okay. Can this get minimized? I'm hearing myself multiple times.
Yeah, that should be good.
Yeah.
I just pulled up the Twitch stream and volume was not down.
Great.
It is now.
One last thing. I need to nab a post really fast and then I'm set. Come on.
I know you know. I see you smiling at me.
Oh, yeah?
Sorry.
What?
It's from a song.
Okay.
I was like, what are you talking about?
It's actually from a POD song, if you have any idea who that is.
I do know who POD is.
I'm not sure how relevant they are anymore.
I was going to say, they haven't released anything new in a long time, right?
Well, maybe more recent than you think, but I'm not sure what the last one was. Their style shifted and I kind of fell off of them. Yeah. They started leaning a little bit more into the reggae sound and it wasn't really my thing.
Yeah. Okay, what's this one mostly about? Let's see. We've got
The Worm Cult.
the Worm Cult. Let's go with this. Yeah, I like that.
What are you doing?
With Metamarco's emo nephew or whatever.
Emo nephew.
You know, that's the vibes I'm getting, okay? I haven't read the article yet, but from all the photos and stuff, that's the vibes I'm getting.
I thought that for some reason, Worm, whatever their name is, was female.
Worm. Oh, yeah.
Maybe
Worm.
I read it. I haven't read it at all. I just thought I heard someone reference them as a she once, but maybe I'm wrong.
Okay, well, if you look at one article, there's clearly a girl who's also in charge, and then the worm blood is in the
maybe that's who I'm
background.
thinking of.
So there's 2 villains this round.
Oh, okay. That could be what it is that I'm thinking of then. Okay, let's get to the proper social media to post this on so that I don't accidentally post it on Lore Seekers, since I was doing that earlier today, because people would be very confused. Pre-show.
You know what?
Pre-show.
You catch yourself every time, and I'm very proud of you.
I'm trying to get better.
If you just quit throwing yourself in the first place, you wouldn't have to catch yourself.
Pre-show tree show is live. Come join us as we discuss being in a cult of worms.
And you need to be in a cult of worms, because in order to keep all of these plants alive, you need a lot of worms in the dirt.
Snap, we totally could have named this episode Opening a Cult of Worms.
Oh my gosh. It's a cult of worms. We're gonna open the cult of worms. That's funny.
So that's gonna be the name of the YouTube video after the fact?
Yeah, that should be the name of the actual episode when it publishes.
No. That should be the name of the episode when the update actually goes live.
That's what I was gonna say. Maybe that's what we should save that one for.
Yeah.
Save that for when it actually hits.
Opening a Cult of Worms for title of an episode sometime.
Somewhere, someday, sometime.
In an episode in the distant future, or near future, or past. I'll just go back and change the name of one.
Doc, we've got to go back to the future.
Those movies are great.
They are so good.
You just don't make movies like they used to, you know? I'm the old guy saying things like that now.
It just depends what you want to... It just depends which movies you watch.
I suppose. I've not seen too many movies lately that I've been really interested in. And then the ones that I do end up watching, I'm like, it's okay, I guess. I find myself watching a lot of, like, Korean zombie and martial arts stuff on Netflix lately.
Okay. I believe we are ready to go. I have retweeted, well, not retweeted, but I have sent the proper tweet. I have...
You have excommunicated?
We are live. I don't know.
Excommunicated.
I'm so tired, I didn't laugh. I apologize.
Oh my gosh, I just opened up my Twitter and somebody had posted a thing that says the Goth Ness Monster. And it's like the Loch Ness Monster sticking out of a lake. They're wearing like a top hat and like a nose chain.
You better move your camera or something. Your screen's blurry.
Mine? Oh, sorry. Here we go.
Actually, what I find works for me is just hitting the circle button.
Yeah.
But
okay, one last thing. I'm sending this to you guys just so you can see this screen, this magical screenshot, because it was actually really funny. That's so funny. Maybe it's just because it's tired. It's tired. Maybe it's just because it's late and I'm tired. But also, it's tired, apparently. I'm the it. It me.
you should send that to my wife. She'd get a kick out of that too.
Alright, I'll text her right now. Alright, there she started to say her name, and then I said, don't say her name, don't dox her.
we'll just say her name is Bridget.
I was going to say, listen, Linda, listen. We don't talk to people here.
Well, I just texted Bridget with the picture of.
I don't know why.
Picture of that.
I don't know why Bridget is my default go-to name for when I'm not using a real name. I think I've only ever known like
There's
one.
worse names.
I think I've only ever known one Bridget.
All right, I'm ready. Let's go. Whenever you're ready.
Yes, let's do this.
I still got to write a show for tomorrow after this one.
I have guaranteed 5 minutes before something goes wrong. Let's go.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to A Snugpod Cast. Or welcome for your first time if you're not back for another time. This is A Snugpod Cast, and we are your snuggly crew. I'm never separate. With me is Gone Crazy Back Soon. How are you?
I'm back. Because that's my name.
But
Just
you're
like you
not
said.
wearing black.
What?
So you're not back in black?
Wow, wow, wow.
Oh. I'm back in black. Oh. Nice.
And that other
Awesome.
voice is Gwen the Bard. What's up?
I think Never keeps forgetting that I am obsessed with that band and will always respond.
So you're a fan of the Electric Boogaloo?
Electric Boogaloo.
You know, because AC/DC is current. They're an old band. They're not current. Anyway.
Stick your tail in an
Wow.
electrical socket.
Thunder! As he gets struck by lightning.
Yeah.
That's exactly how it goes.
Please don't kill me. I'm hearing bells. I gotta get off this highway.
Cats like bells.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. Sometimes. Anyway, we're not a music podcast. We are an Elder Scrolls Online podcast, so we should probably talk about that. Have you been up to anything fun in game? I'll throw it over to Gwen.
I got the fancy house, the pursuits. I pursued them and I got them on PlayStation, and I'm super close on PC, but life seems to keep whacking me, and so I'm with my computer, because I'll get close and then it will go, no. What? You thought you were going to kill five public dungeon bosses tonight? What? Oh, no, we're just going to shut down.
No.
So, I am so close. I just need to get 2 more daily rewards, kill 1 more public dungeon boss, and I think I need to... Well, I really wanted to do Tales of Tribute, but now that my free week is over, I don't think that's happening, so I think the route I'm going to go is actually try to finish Antiquities to cook stuff in my house. Because that seems actually the most likely. But that's where I'm at there. And I got to do a bunch of dungeons on Thursday with the dungeon people over on PCEU, and then I got to do a bunch of dungeons on Friday with our dungeon people over on PlayStation. So it's been a very dungeon-filled week. How about you guys?
Well, I did manage to get the house on PlayStation. I got it the other day. The last thing I needed to do was just grab the last daily login and finish that up. So we got together last week and ran some dungeons. So that was cool. We haven't actually done much of that in a while. So even though it was the same dungeon 3 times in a row, at least we got to hang out and play together. So that was fun. And lots of discussions with Newsy. We've gotten close the last little bit. You know, I'm always like, hey, I need you to buy this from me. And she always seems to have enough money. She's loaded, I guess. But I have been, maybe y'all can help me out, because no matter how hard I try, I have not been able to make any progress on the pursuits on PC. Like, nothing I do is moving that bar at all.
I know how I could help you out with that. There's gonna be a giveaway on Blue Sky for PC if you listen to what I'm doing tomorrow.
Right, but I'd actually have to have a PC to use that on, right?
Yeah, that's true. I don't know if it'll work on your Chromebook, whatever it is you got.
No, it won't. Not unless I do it through like the NVIDIA GeForce thing. But I'm not subbing to that, so.
Bummer, dude.
I don't know how I would even manage to try to do another system anyway. You guys are crazy. But yeah, so I've gotten, I got my house. It actually seemed like it was going to be a lot harder to do than it was. But then, like, as I started going through and checking stuff off, it was like, oh, a lot of these are actually going a lot easier than I thought. One of the worst ones, I think, was probably the gather 50 resources because I don't have a craft bag, so it was a lot of, that's why I said Newsy and I have been close. It's like, go grab a few things. Oh, I'm full. Sell, 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 sell. Go grab a few things. Oh, I'm full. Sell, 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 sell. But yeah, got it done. That house is insane. It's stupid big.
I love it so much.
It's nice. I like a lot of things about it. You definitely need a lot of space or a lot of you. I think you have to have ESO Plus to make that thing look even remotely close to full, though. Because I looked at it and it's already at 268 of the 300 slots if you don't have Plus.
So, can I interrupt?
Sure.
You just take one of the pre-made Snugpods and put it in front of the door, and you only fill up that. I know it's a horrible answer, but
there you
it
go.
is valid.
I mean,
there you go.
Yeah, you could. But anyway, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of space. I was walking through that, and I was like, man, you'd have to put so many furnishings in here. This is just going to look like a house somebody's waiting to move into. But anyway, really cool house. I do like a lot of the like the carpets and stuff. Those are neat. The Ouroboros logos on them. Yeah. Anyway, what about you, Crazy? What have you been up to?
I have run so much Falkreath Hold. So much. It hurts. No, I ran Falkreath on PC a bunch to help Minwy Pro farm for his Pillar of Nirn dagger. And, of course, in traditional ESO style, it was one of the very last drops, so I think we've run it about 20 times this week. Because we would usually get in, like, 5 runs a night or whatever, to try and get through stuff. We had some awesome other lore seekers as well join in and try and make the process a little bit faster to help him out. The one night, or a couple nights actually, was great. And
so yeah, even with all of you doing it, nobody was getting the drop to give him?
So I still had to finish out the Iron Blood and whatever that other set was. We had, so the funny part was, between us, we had all of the chest pieces, all of the body pieces from the 3 sets. We just didn't have any of the weapons. And you get, like, you know, the guaranteed drop or whatever at the end, but we were getting things like shields, lightning staves, you know, maces, stuff like that. So we literally ran through everything else for the 2 of us, except for that. The other thing, too, is it didn't really help him that I already had the daggers and the rings and stuff, so, like, my drops were not really helpful when it came to that aspect, so I was literally getting everything else. In terms of, like, the curated drops and whatnot. But yeah, we managed to get them for him, or get one for him, and it actually dropped in a decent, like, trait, too, which was great for him, so he didn't have to deconstruct it. Finished the house over on PC, working on it on PlayStation. My PlayStation time has been a little bit harder to get in because of it being at home and not portable to be with me. And then just connectivity issues, like when I'm at work or whatever, trying to remote play. So that's been always a challenge. But other than that, there's been loads. I say loads, it sounds like a lot. We've had quite a few, I'll say. Not like loads, but it's been a pretty consistent, steady stream of new people coming into the guild. Some people have stuck around. Some people are like, there's a lot going on here, like with channels and Discord, and I'm out. But yeah, we've had lots of new people coming in on all the platforms, actually. So that's been like some work on the side, like helping people get started and whatnot. And then other than that, I don't think I mentioned this last show. I can't remember if I did. Yeah, I don't think I did because it was for my birthday. I leveled up last week after Mother's Day. Was that last week? Yeah, last week after Mother's Day. And then for that, I actually upgraded my laptop. So my hubby got me 32 RAM, and then I got a new SSD that was 2 terabytes. So I actually have space to like do stuff now, which is great. So I can move some of my screenshots and stuff from the PlayStation over, and yeah, it's pretty great. Other than that, that's it. It's been crazy. I've just been trying to survive life.
That is relatable. Would you like to hear a very unrelated, ridiculous life thing?
Do tell.
Just a little pro tip. If you need to buy a printer, perhaps don't buy an HP printer. Because I'm pretty sure I tried to print some stuff earlier today, and it's saying that I have an error code, that one of the issues that causes that error code is that ink cartridge won't work because you don't have an active subscription to their ink service.
What? That is the most
Never.
ridiculous thing
I
I've
thought
ever heard.
literally every single person on the planet knew that already.
Well, we didn't have an HP printer before this one. We had something else, and so you get 3 months of free ink service through them when you buy the printer, or the one we got. So we had some of their instant ink from the subscription. And now that we didn't renew the subscription, the ink that we already own in the printer that we already own will not function.
Yes.
That should
I
be
honestly thought
illegal.
every single person on the planet knew that already.
No.
I am so sorry for your loss.
I didn't know that.
Getting
I don't have a
$600
printer.
printer and then getting $5 ink because it works great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That should be illegal. But anyway, just wanted to throw that out there. Just know in advance. Stay away from HP, or at the very least, just buy your own ink, and don't fool with their subscription stuff at all.
That's why you're supposed to buy HM printers and go to Apocrypha. Hermaeus Mora.
Yeah.
Because you get Mora ink that way.
You get
Yeah.
lots of ink.
Since there's so much ink in Apocrypha.
And also, you can just get some luminous ink if
Yeah.
you run around Tamriel.
Well, I'm getting some of that later this month. Like
So
four,
that covers
four-
black
four
and
bottles.
cyan. You still need a couple more there, though. You need the... You're missing 2 colors. You
Well,
got
I'll
the black
just-
and we got the cyan.
I'll just take some from the dye table.
There you go. There you go.
Anyway, that was just a bonus little tip there.
So talking about housing.
Exactly.
Yeah! Oh my goodness.
So I have been decorating the Snugpod in so many hundreds of different ways. Yes, that made sense.
I love
that I
that sentence.
actually walked in tonight and was surprised at what the Snugpod looked like. Looked like, because I forgot. I forgot what I'm making the Snugpod look like. But why am I doing this craziness, you may ask? Well, one, we know I do this every week. But for another, there is the ESO Welcome Home Housing Contest that has started. It says, have a home in Tamriel? Share it with us, and you could win in-game housing rewards, a chat with ESO Housing Team, and more. Welcome home. Love ESO's housing systems? The ESO Welcome Home Housing Contest is here. Create an incredible in-game house using one of our prompts and share your screenshots, 4 to 6 total, with us through the form below by June 6th, 2025 for a chance to win. Each piece will be judged on creativity, quality, adherence to the official rules, and overall interpretation of the category themes: Cozy In-Rooms, Secret Garden, Festival Day, and Master Tier Creations. Not me. There are additional requirements for each category. In keeping with some of the home tour tags, the Cozy In-Rooms, small spaces and cozy vibes, must include elements representative of one of the following home tours tags: cozy, libraries, or residences. Secret Garden, enchanting outdoor spaces, must include elements representative of one of the following home tour tags: creatures, gardens, hidden secrets. Festival Day. Festival Day is here. Must include elements representative of one of the following home tours tags: festive, games, or towns. Master Tier Creations. From scratch creations from Master Tier builders to flex their skills. Must include elements representative to one of the following home tours tags: from scratch, exhibits, magic. Contestants may not enter more than one entry per category, for a maximum of 4 total categories at most. Be sure to read the rules for full details. We want everyone to get their time in the spotlight, so we'll be sharing some of our favorite pieces with the rest of the ESO community via our social channels throughout the contest. Participants are encouraged to share their creations directly as well. Use hashtag ESO Welcome Home Contest to join in. Following the contest conclusions, our panel of judges, including ESO community members Hachiko-chan and Futaroko, housing creator extraordinaries, will select a total of 12 winners, including 4 grand prize winners, 1 per category. Among other rewards, each grand prize winner will be given an opportunity for a 30-minute video chat with the ESO housing team. You can find more details on the prize packs below. We don't need to read that. No one cares about prizes. We just like decorating, right? Okay, we'll continue. 4 grand prize winners. 1 30-minute video chat session with the housing team. 12 months of ESO Plus includes 19,800 crowns, 1 in-game house of the winner's choice, 10 luxury furnishings of the winner's choice, 2 house guests of the winner's choice, 1 print of a homestead or home tour's official art or screenshot signed by the housing team, inclusion in a video featuring the winner's work with their name and competition placement rank. Follow our social channels for more details coming soon. 8 runners-up. 6 months of ESO Plus includes 9,900 crowns, 1 in-game house of the winner's choice, 5 luxury furnishings of the winner's choice, 1 house guest of the winner's choice, homestead or housing-related screenshot signed by the housing team. Prizes denoted as winner's choice must be selected from items that have been released via the Crown Store or luxury furnishing vendor. Don't miss out on your chance to win some fantastic rewards by submitting your creative ESO housing builds from now until June 6th, 2025. If you're a quick builder, you could even show off by showcasing the new Grand Gallery of Tamriel home, available free as part of the May's Golden Pursuits campaign. Start decorating today. This month, thanks to the new Manor home, in addition to this special contest, everybody can feel right at home in ESO. Don't forget, before submitting your entries, to be sure to reference the official rules for details and restrictions. You can share your creations with the rest of hashtag ESOFam on social media. Remember, the tag is hashtag ESO Welcome Home Contest hashtag. All right.
Sweet.
Those are some pretty decent prizes for winning there.
Never, you should enter your house.
Which
Why
house?
not? Tropical.
Like you should.
What's the
know.
worst
You
thing that
should
happens?
enter 4 houses. That's 4 chances that you can potentially win an ESO Plus subscription.
Yeah.
Ooh, I should enter my Snugpod.
I think everyone should enter a Snugpod, just saying. They are the best house.
Wait,
It
am
is
I allowed to
superior.
enter? I just thought about that.
Hmm.
I'll have to read the
It's
fine
like
print.
you're not a judge, right?
No, I'm not a judge, but I mean, I don't know.
I'm not sure which of those categories my hideaway would. I don't think it would fit in any of this.
Yeah, I gotta think about that.
I mean, I could take one of the other houses and do something with them, but
Because it's 4 to 6 screenshots, so it doesn't have to be the whole house. It's just those 4 to 6 screenshots that have to fall into the category.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's
Mm-hmm.
true. I guess we'll have to see. I gotta think about that one. Maybe I'll do it.
Okay, moving on.
Oh goodness. Do we want to do the next one, or do we want to come back and do that one like before we do the lore, maybe?
let's see.
I put it there because I thought we could start with that and then wrap back up into going back into the worm call.
Perfect. That's fine. Cool.
Then let's do it, shall we?
Shall we?
We shall. We
So-
shall.
Let's discover the story behind the story in Seasons of the Worm Cult Part 1. Learn how ESO's development team reanimated the game's main questline with a true sequel in Seasons of the Worm Cult Part 1. I see what they did there. Reanimate.
That's a necromancy joke for those of you who didn't get it.
That's a necromancer joke. Because that Manny Marco guy. Anyway, alright, a true sequel. When the Seasons of the Worm Cult Part 1 arrives on June 2nd for PC, Mac, and June 18th for Xbox and PlayStation, you'll have the opportunity to experience, for the first time in the game's history, a sequel to ESO's original base game questline. For ESO's 10-year anniversary, we wanted to do something special, a story that revisited and built upon the original main story, says ESO's project narrative director Bill Slavicek. And what better enemy to bring back than the nefarious Worm Cult? So we came up with a story that builds on the launch game narrative and continues the tale as a true sequel. While creating a sequel to ESO's base game presented unique challenges, the team also enjoyed the new opportunities it generated. In our previous chapters and DLCs, we couldn't assume that the player had done any particular content, explains Rich Baker, one of ESO's senior writers. However, because Seasons of the Worm Cult was conceived as a sequel, we could have the characters refer to those events and set a new story on top of that pedestal. Of course, you don't need to have completed the original story to play Seasons of the Worm Cult, but veteran players who have confronted Molag Bal and Cold Harbor will enjoy the continuation of that narrative. We made sure to do our best to bring newer players along in natural and unobtrusive ways, says Slavicek. It was fun to actually get to advance our timeline a bit in order to tell this new story. In addition to the first part of the new year-long saga, there's also no shortage of standalone quests and stories you can discover as you explore Western Solstice. I think players will enjoy the story about our new Argonian culture, one that's very different from what we see in the mainland Argonian, says Slavicek. Then there's the story of a sea elf pirate, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the quest that puts a spotlight on a rather impressive and faithful steed from Cold Harbor who... No, I don't want to spoil the surprise. It's no secret that nefarious Worm Cult has returned. The band of necromancers, formerly led by the Worm King Mannimarco, now plagues the island of Solstice. I love the Worm Cult because they're over-the-top bad guys, says Baker. As they say, every villain is the hero of their own story, however misguided it might be. However, the Worm Cult is a different kind of villain. They're irredeemable, power-mad megalomaniacs. You never have to ask yourself if it's right for you to stop them because they want bad things for bad reasons. That's fun. They're just so serious about their goals and their missions, says Slavicek. And they're utterly evil. How could we not find a way to bring them back to the forefront for the anniversary story? We've even added some new faces to their ranks, and I think the players are going to love to hate. Exactly what the cult is up to on Solstice is something you'll have to discover for yourself, but don't worry, you won't have to do it alone. The team is also bringing back a host of fan-favorite allies, too, including Squirtle the Knife and Gabrielle Bennell. Whenever we look to add recurring characters to a story, we ask ourselves if they're right fit, explains Slavsek. Why are they here? What's their purpose in the scenario? Then we work to make them integral to the tale we're telling, and for this anniversary story, we wanted to include as many returning characters as we could get. Since we were starting with the original main story in the Worm Cult, we naturally looked at the 5 companions, says Baker. However, we featured several of them in various chapters since the original game. We decided to take a step back from that set of characters and look to some interesting but underutilized characters who deserved a little more time in the spotlight. A 2-part adventure. Another unique aspect of Seasons of the Worm Cult storyline is the way the team has divided it into 2 parts. With Part 1 arriving in June, you won't be able to truly conclude this new saga until Part 2 releases, and you can venture into Eastern Solstice in Q4. Not to give anything away, but this format does provide us with a wonderful opportunity for a cliffhanger, explains Baker. Our chapters or DLCs generally can't do that because they need to tell a story all in one go. Here we were able to present some huge twists and unexpected developments at the midpoint and then give them room to breathe. It's a powerful narrative or device that we hardly ever get a chance to employ, so we took full advantage of it. Seasons of the Worm Cult is also the first major release after April's prologue quest that makes full use of the new player response options tech, allowing you to add flair to your responses when talking to NPCs. It made sense to us to finally roll out this new feature as part of the game's anniversary, explains Slavasek. We've experimented with the concept over the years, but now we've made it an integral part of the game. Personally, I'm really enjoying the opportunity to provide the player with some sassy or humorous choices in the right moments, says Baker. People crack jokes in the face of serious situations all the time. It's one of the ways we confront danger and uncertainty. And everybody occasionally wants to indulge the impulse to say something you'd never say in real life. With the Seasons of the Worm Cult storyline, you'll have the chance to continue the saga that began back in 2014. Are you ready to once again confront Tamriel's most feared necromantic cult? There you go. I'm very excited for this. How are you guys feeling about this?
I'm still trying to decide if I'm on Team Menamarco or Team Vaniscalarian.
I mean,
I really do hate Vaniscalarian.
I'm on Team Raz, and I know he's in
You know
this.
what? I'm Team Squirtle the Knife.
I'm also
really
Team
glad
Squirtle.
Squirtle's back. I like Squirtle.
It's a good egg.
I'm sorry, Squirtle?
Yes,
Squirtle the Knife.
Squirtle? Isn't that a Pokemon character?
Sure.
I think it's cool that they're doing something to continue, the kind of the base game thing. Mm-hmm. It'll be. I'm curious to see how how the world will feel like it progresses. Since the timeline is advancing, because basically right now all of these things are somewhat taking place at the same time. Is that right? Isn't that kind of how it's kind of intended to be structured, that this is just all stuff happening at once?
Yes. So, according to Rich, Matt, the devs, basically everything is happening all at the same time in ESO currently. Of course, there is a progressive order that you can do things in, but the thought process is that it's all kind of happening simultaneously, and what we are seeing, or the order in which things are being done, is just how our character is experiencing it. So.
Right. Okay. Yeah, it'll be neat to see, if they make, very many changes to the existing world when the new stuff happens. I'm not sure exactly how that works, but anyway.
Yeah, I got a feeling they're gonna have a way to write around it a little bit, or it's just gonna be like one of those things where they're like, we just don't talk about that.
Shove it under the mattress.
Kind of like how it depends on who you chose
it.
to put in the end of the quest line at the beginning to have who's alive now. Anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, so that's going to be on PC at least just a few weeks, pretty much, right?
The second.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Third.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
No,
So
second.
if you want to get ready for that,
It says third.
there's 5 ways to get ready for Seasons of the Worm Cult Part 1 and Update 46. There's probably more, but there's 5 that are listed for us in this article. Never would you like to read it?
Sure. Let me get it open. Here we go. 5 ways to get ready for Seasons of the Worm Cult Part 1 and Update 46. A new zone, storyline, and base game features arrive in June via the Seasons of the Worm Cult Part 1 and Update 46. Here are 5 things you can do in-game right now to get ready for the adventures to come. Play ESO's main questline. The Seasons of the Worm Cult storyline is a true sequel to ESO's original main story questline. So what better way to prepare for Part 1 than to make sure your character has completed it? Help the 5 companions undo the mistakes of the past and stop Molag Bal from dragging Nirn into his realm of Coldharbour. Once complete, you'll know all you need to know to get the most out of Seasons of the Worm Cult Part 1. Even better, May's Golden Pursuits campaign contains a host of base game activities, including completing quests, slaying foes in early zones, and more. Go earn that free house. Prepare for subclassing. The upcoming Update 46 base game patch includes the all-new subclassing system, allowing you to mix and match your class skill lines to create your ideal build. If you want to get the most out of subclassing, you should ensure you have a character that has reached level 50 and have a bunch of spare skill points ready when the new system goes live in June. Hang on to those XP and respec scrolls too. Find stalwart allies. While adventuring in Solstice, you'll encounter no shortage of allies willing to help you battle the cult. However, you can already meet many of them on mainland Tamriel right now. Prince Azah can be found as part of the Alikir Desert Zone story, while others, such as Scordo the Knife and Gabrielle Benil, are featured in the Rivenspire and Glenumbra Zone storylines, respectively. Why not get to know your allies before beginning your next adventure? ESO's main story isn't the only way to take on the cult, and you can often find them worming their way into much of Tamriel as you explore. Why not learn a little more about your enemy by battling them wherever they might be found? For example, you could always join the famous Fighters Guild, which plays a major part in the ongoing war against Molag Bal and his minions with its own unique questline and story. Alternatively, you can discover cult activities within the town of Namalton in the Rift or the Bone Orchard in Grahtwood, or you can encounter cultists within the Delve Abaloria and Coldharbour. Don't forget to shut down any nearby dark anchors too. Finally, leading directly into Part 1, the Seasons of the Worm Cult prologue quest has you team up with Prince Azah to track down the Fighters Guild Guildmaster. The events of this quest point you directly to Solstice and Seasons of the Worm Cult Part 1, and it's free for all ESO players. To begin the prologue, grab the quest A Guild in Crisis from the in-game Crown Store. The Seasons of the Worm Cult Part 1 and Update 46 base game patch arrived this June, but you can ready yourself for the fight to come right now by checking out the above activities and adventures. How are you preparing for the war against the Worm Cult? Let us know on socials.
Talking to oh my gosh, that's a horrible joke. Never mind, moving on.
Were you saying talking to the dead?
I was gonna say talking to the no, it's a really bad joke.
You're like, it's too bad, I can't do it. It's too bad.
Talking to the Black Feather Court.
Oh
'Cause,
no.
Crows eat worms.
Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Oh my goodness.
Brushing off my unfathomable darkness gear.
Yup, that's one way, I suppose. Oh my goodness.
So I have to back up a little bit here.
Yep.
This article says arrives on June 2nd.
Yep.
The one that we read a minute ago, the bottom of it says arrives on June 3rd.
It's the 2nd.
Okay.
Did the other one say the 3rd?
At the very bottom, yeah. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it says it's got the continue your saga thing. It says the Seasons of the Worm Cult Part 1 arrives June 3rd. PC and Mac.
It's the 2nd.
So that's why I kept
it
saying.
sure does.
That's why I kept saying the third, because I was looking right at it. I was like, it says it right there. Although in the top of the
Easy
article it
typo.
says the second, so just a typo on the bottom there. Yeah.
They're right next to each other on the keyboard. It happens.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's been reported, but maybe it will be after this. Anyway.
Yeah. The top of the article has the second, just that bottom last part there.
To clarify, for PC, it is the second.
Yes, it is indeed. Can confirm.
All right. Well, now we know. That was the reason for the confusion, so my bad.
Yeah, all good. This next one is going to be a lot to read, so I don't know if we want to read the whole thing or if we just want to direct people to it. During the actual guild summit that I attended a little while back, there were a lot of groups asking about how do you do guild involvement, how do you keep people engaged, what are some events you've done, and one of the guild representatives that was there was talking about this treasure goblin game that they play in their guild, and they do it for like months at a time. Like they do a stint of this depending upon how many people are playing. And I believe it's over on the EU side. Yeah, it's by Grown Ups Gaming EU. So they had one of their representatives talk about this actual event, and basically a quick summary of it is this sort of thing where it's almost like you're playing semi like an NPC. So you essentially play as this NPC and you try and collect the best treasures for your treasure goblin. But the hard part is you do it in Cyrodiil. And it's limited, like your abilities, things like that. Everybody has the same. Skill points are only used on weapon skills. That way everybody can have the same abilities. And then the gear is like limited to drops and stuff that you get from there. And everything is limited to your backpack size. So you can't add additional bank space. You can't do additional crafting stuff. It's just based purely on drops. So it's kind of fun. So I guess I can read this, but yeah, I don't know. What are your all's thoughts? Do you want me to just go through and read the whole thing, or?
Do it.
Okay.
Literally, we only have 2 actual articles left to read. The rest are just talk about this quick.
Perfect. So, for this one, it says, looking for a fun new guild activity, learn all about the elaborate treasure goblin game created by Grown Ups Gaming. We've encountered a lot of wonderful and creative guild activities in ESO over the years, and among the most elaborate and impressive we've encountered is this treasure goblin game run. In honor of their efforts, we've asked one of their representatives, Fizzle, to speak with us about the hijinks involved. To get us started, tell us about your guild. How was Grown Ups Gaming EU founded? Grown Ups Gaming EU was started by a group of people who moved from another MMO into Elder Scrolls Online when it was released for consoles in 2015. Grown Ups is primarily a social guild. We do a little bit of everything. We regularly have a trader in Ebonheart, run trials, including training trials, zone clears, and the occasional bit of PvP on the weekend. The Treasure Goblin Contest sounds like an incredibly fun guild activity. How was the game initially created? The Treasure Goblin presidential race came from daydreaming about NPCs in video games. I often think of them as actors or hosts in a theme park getting ready for their queue in a dungeon. But who puts treasure chests out in the wild or gives a mud crab a resto staff? I finally worked out who it was when the Infinite Archive was released, and I met Gui the Pilferer. I figured there must be a clan of treasure goblins. That's where the idea began to run an event where players effectively play as powerful as NPCs and try to become the president of the Treasure Goblins Guild. Could you share the rules of the game so other players can try it out? The aim is for players to accumulate treasure as if playing as an NPC goblin. This means that, as goblins, they aren't welcome in cities and get snubbed by wandering merchants and other vendors. For this reason, they cannot learn skills in crafting, riding, or the skills of their class. They use traders, way shrines, and so on. Each player creates a new character, which they have to level up in the wilderness. To keep things fair, skill points can be used only on weapon skills so that everyone has the same abilities. Gear is limited to drops, and only the base backpack size is allowed. No banks or crafting. At level 10, they enter the No CP Cyrodiil campaign and try to find a spot where they can try to accumulate as much treasure as possible without dying. They cannot come back to life if they die and are out of the race. At the end of the game, any treasure goblins that are still alive get to sell everything they have picked up. The goblin that has the most gold after selling everything has won the presidential race and will be the president for the next period. The event initially ran for a month, but if you want to run it regularly, it could be a shorter period like a week. Did the treasure goblin take a while to catch on, or was it an immediate hit in your guild? Last year was the first time the event was run, and there were a lot of questions as people learned what it meant to be an NPC with all the existing systems in the game out of their reach. I quickly had 25 people sign up for the first event, and it was often talked about. This year's sign-up has been posted and is already super popular. As the organizer, do you also get to participate? If so, do you get others helping you out by hunting you down? As the organizer, I deliberately keep myself out of the running, as the prize is 1 million gold. I did create a treasure goblin and follow the rules, and it was harder staying alive than you think. Have you ever tried any other game modes for your challenge, such as surviving through running public dungeon, world bosses, infinite archive? We ran world bosses, which were a challenge, and also did a treasure goblin trial, which was great fun. Many players kept their treasure goblin characters after the event and are still running around with them now. If you see a character with a name like Goo the something, say hello. Do you have any tips for other guilds who want to run their own treasure goblin games? I track progress for this event in Excel so that I can monitor who's died, what the player totals were, and so on. I would advise giving your players the name of their goblins on the first day of the event so that you don't get characters that were created and leveled before the event begins. For fun, create a remembrance spot for the goblins that died and encourage players to explain how they died. Screenshots are welcome. We have an abandoned dragon horde where players describe their deaths, whether it was running off of a cliff in excitement or getting killed by a boss respawning while trying to take a screenshot. They were all very entertaining. Finally, do you have any shoutouts for your guild or the ESO community in general? First of all, big shout out to Generally Grown-Ups, who were the first guild I joined in many years ago, taking a very solo-focused player and making me realize that playing ESO with other people is a lot of fun and not as scary as I imagined. Also, to the other guilds and players that hang around Remen dancing or running circuits around the Way Shrine. There's a very friendly bunch hanging around in sunny northern elsewhere. What do you think of this new guild activity? Does it sound like fun to you? Love.
That actually does sound kind of fun.
It's a great challenge.
Perhaps I just missed it because sometimes I just miss things. But how you said at the end of the event you sell everything you have, and
yep, you sell everything to a merchant.
Whoever has the most gold or whatever wins. Is that what it said?
That's correct.
Okay, so you can't increase your backpack size or use the bank or anything like that. So what do you do if you get full?
If you get full, you have to destroy, like, say that you want to pick up something that's valuable, or like, say you want to change out a resto stave for a piece of purple gear.
Okay.
I'm just giving a random example. You have to destroy the other item so that you can pick up the other one.
Okay. But just, like, not counting the gear that you're wearing, do you just try to... So I guess you would destroy the lowest valuable thing you have, huh?
Yep, more than likely.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, right? It's a little bit of a game of, like, chance as well, because you're not sure what you're going to pick up.
And then if you die, you're just out?
That's it. If you die, you're done. So if it's the first day and you go into Cyrodiil and you yeet yourself right off a cliff and you die, you're done.
Or meet another player and they just gank you.
Yep. That's the other thing, is it encourages some, like, espionage sometimes as well, because there other players from your guild could try and pick you off. Yep.
Interesting. Okay.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that. That's fun.
Sorry, I'm closing out my windows as we go so I can try and match it up. Tales from the Devs. Have you watched any of these? Either of you?
I have. My favorite, I think, so far is about the petting animals.
Yeah, that's such a good one.
I
Such a
saw
good
a
one.
brief part of that, and I don't even remember where I saw that. Why I was watching that. I'm not sure where it popped up. Somewhere.
Tales from Discover new dev tales from 10 years of the Elder Scrolls Online. Watch a new series of shorts as ESO's developers share some of their personal stories from their time working on the game. It takes a village to make a game like the Elder Scrolls Online, and every member of the team at ZeniMax Online studies. What? Okay. Has their. There's another typo. Has their own tales to tell. In celebration of ESO's 10-year anniversary, we asked members of the game's development team to share their personal stories and anecdotes with us and the community in a series of new video shorts. The video is included in this article and highly recommend you watching them all.
They're so fun. I love it. I haven't gotten to watch all of them, but I love them so far. Yeah. Pet rock, petting animals, highlights so far. Love it.
Yeah, I think the one that I saw was the one talking about adding petting animals or something. And there was something about it wasn't sure if it would actually be allowed in the game, so we kind of just stuck it in kind of as a side thing, and then now it's something that's a bigger part.
Using the same base code of the vampires that eat people, and it's like, this is great.
So good. So good.
Seriously, that is my favorite achievement, is going through and having to find and pet all the animals in Galen, and all of the little side things that tell you how to find them are great. They're just cryptic enough that you feel like you're trying, but they're obvious enough that if you actually explore the map, you can figure it out by just using those clues. So, yeah.
I actually have not done that achievement yet, and I need to get on it.
It is my favorite achievement because it's the only time I can pet a dog without having an allergic reaction.
Aww.
It's funny. All right.
You know what else is kind of funny?
The ESO
Some
podcast.
podcasts.
It is. It is. It's the kind of funny podcast that's covering ESO for a few episodes. So, have either of you gotten to listen to any of these or watch any of them?
I have not.
They are really good. I would highly, highly suggest watching them. I'm partway through the second one, and I would be a lot further along, except for the fact that I've been going back, because what'll happen is I'll start listening to it, and then something will happen, I'll miss a piece of it, and I want to go back because I want to hear every little bit of this. It's Rich and Matt Firar, and they are talking a lot about the early development days of the game. They've also been pretty transparent with yeah, there was this one time that we went in and talked to Todd Howard and X happened, and he was really, really supportive when we needed to redo stuff, and we were talking about one Tamriel, and there's just a lot of really, really neat game history that they have been sharing in these episodes. So it's a little 4-part mini-series that they partnered with the Kind of Funny podcast guys over, and they have 3 episodes out currently, and I believe the 4th one comes out soon. I want to say this week, but they're really, really good. I could not recommend them more, than what I'm saying now, because it's cool to get to watch it rather than just hear it as well. They have a great set.
How long is each episode? Do you know offhand?
It depends. I think the first one is just over an hour. Episode 2, I want to say, is right around an hour as well, and I haven't checked 3 yet.
Okay.
So.
Generally, my opportunity to listen to things like that is my car ride. So Wondering how well that would space out, and
Yeah.
so.
Oh, excuse me, I had a yawn in there. It snuck in on me.
Stop that! It's contagious.
I know,
How
and I
dare
still got
you.
stuff to do after this. Jeez, sorry. Yeah, so it's great. Definitely give it a check out. Rich and Matt Firor are just, they're great. You can tell just how, I feel like you can tell how genuine they both are and how passionate they both are about the game in this mini series. And I think it's great that they're being transparent and, you know, having the opportunity to talk to the community about it behind the mic. So I think that's cool. Do you want me to, I mean, I don't really feel like I need to read it word for word now that I'm looking at it because I just kind of summarized it.
No, you're fine. I'm going to summarize the next one.
Great.
Celebrate 10 years with a whimsical physical piece of ESO's history. So, summarizing this is the most creative way I have ever seen anyone try to recycle used computer parts.
It is pretty impressive.
This is the old server stuff.
Yes,
Yeah.
it says pre-order your unique, I almost said antique, your unique 10-year anniversary server keepsake today, available only on the Bethesda Gear store. What it is it is a stick of RAM from the game's original servers with a little plaque.
Yeah, I have bad news though.
Are they already out?
They're already sold out.
2,000 people wanted used computer parts.
2,000 people wanted used computer parts. Yep, like instantaneously. I heard that there were some on the EU store, but I don't know how true that is. But yeah, it's original server blades from the RAM from the game's original servers. It's awesome.
Well, that was the highlight item of this article. However, it is also highlighting all of the ESO tenure items, including the diorama statuette, and then the hoodie and the music box. Which one of our guildies got the music box? And honestly, it's a lot tinier than what I thought it was, but it sounds gorgeous.
Yeah. I need to ask if they can send me like a clip of what it sounds like. I would love to hear it. Would love to hear it.
So that's summarizing that. That's just a reminder that there's special merch for the year in the store. For people who normally don't look other places, or if you never signed up to receive those marketing emails and get your little Oblivion Fire Dwemer spider.
Yeah.
But now, guess what we get? Guess what's next?
Is it lore?
The thing we all care about. Yes, it's lore.
For the lore.
That's why we're all here.
Mm-hmm. All right. Who's reading this?
Oh, you are. You're our Khajiit. I mean, you're not our Khajiit, but you're our best Khajiit voice.
Well, I'm no Razumdar though. I'm like a female Khajiit. Raz has got his own flavor, but I'll try and give some purrs here and there, I suppose.
Okay.
Give me 1 second. I need to take a drink of water, otherwise this ain't gonna go well. All right, here we go. Discover sinister suspicions about the secretive successor to the King of Worms in this Meet the Character. A report from the Eye of the Queen. Queen Irene, Razumdar, faithful Eye of the Queen, can now report that he has confirmed the return of the Worm Cult. The natural question that follows is obvious. With the demise of Menimarco during the events of the Plain Meld, who leads the returned Order of the Black Worm? Since our friends in the Fighters Guild and Mages Guild know more about these matters than Raz does, he visited several guild halls across Tamriel to investigate these unwelcome developments.
With the help of acting guildmasters Prince Azza and Gabriel Benel, Raz acquired a small amount of captured worm cult correspondence and a few opportunities to question cultist prisoners. A difficult and unpleasant duty, but a vital step in gathering intelligence. Out of these investigations, a picture of the worm cult's new leader emerged. Our new adversary is a powerful necromancer, what else, who calls himself Wormblood. The cultist Raz question described Wormblood as a tall, gaunt high elf with an unnatural pallor and dark eyes that burn with unholy power. Their words, not Raz's. They describe him as cold, logical, and impassive, preferring to speak only in whispers. Wormblood might be a rather well-preserved lich, since quite a few worm nests were once led by necromancers who choose to live on in undeath. Raz cannot confirm that, though. Reports claim that Wormblood now carries Manamarco's own staff of worms, a powerful symbol of an authority within the cult. According to one story Raz heard, Wormblood has been a leader-in-waiting of the worm cult for quite some time. It is said that Manamarco established a worm nest hidden not only from his enemies across Tamriel, but also from the other worm nests. If some disaster was to befall the worm cult or Manamarco's own person, for example, his defeated Sancretor, it was the task of this hidden nest to come forward and re-establish the cult. Accurate or not, such a plan is exactly the sort of foresighted deviousness we should expect from a villain as brilliant as Manamarco. It rings true, yes? Finally, there is one more rumor worth reporting. Some cultists believe Wormblood is not just any high elf. He may in fact be close kin to Manamarco himself, a cousin or nephew perhaps, who choose to follow his elder into the darkness. In this account, Wormblood abandoned his own name in an act of rebellion against the family who disowned him for practicing forbidden arts. Ever since, he has defined himself as a vessel for Manamarco's ambitions, enforcing obedience to the plans and tenets of the King of Worms. A purpose dark and strange, if true. If you remain skeptical, Razumdar understands. This one must admit he is not sure if any of these worm cultists he interrogated have actually met this Wormblood. Viewed one at a time, these hints and rumors may not seem to add up to much. Yet taken together, Raz believes they paint a grim picture. The worm cult is alive and well in the hands of Manamarco's chosen successor, Wormblood. Firm, decisive action is required at once to protect not just the Dominion, but our entire world as well. It is the opinion of your faithful and trusted servant Raz that we join with this newly formed Stirk Fellowship and look further into developing this situation. Respectfully submitted, Razumdar, Eye of the Queen. For further observation required, Razumdar's report amounts to little more than unsupported hearsay. He himself admits he is not sure anyone he interviewed actually met this Wormblood. I think it's best to keep our eyes turned on the enemies we know, the Pact and the Covenant. We should gather more information, and perhaps some real evidence before we divert resources into chasing ghosts and shadows. I will update the Queen if anything changes, of course. Captain Endarian of the Queen's Guard. Wormblood seems to be an elusive sort. However, it would be best not to underestimate him, or the worm cult he now commands. Are you ready to face off against the Necromancer Lord?
I mean, yeah. Manamarco was easy to kill, so or trap, I guess.
I was like, kill?
Trap.
Interesting choice of words.
Trap.
Yes.
Which, for the record, he was one of the original companions, so why weren't we able to sacrifice him for the amulet? Just saying. That should have been an option. He was already chained up on the table. I know why it wasn't an option, because metagaming, but it should have been an option.
Right? If only. If only. Yeah. Raz has such a distinct way of speaking. When I'm thinking about this, when I was just reading this, I was I could hear it, but you can't duplicate it. That voice actor is just so good. So good. So good.
Agreed.
I love it. Yeah.
I definitely get the emo cousin vibes, or emo nephew.
Right? Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Gwen, I was told that I have to ask you a question. And I think it's a good time to rediscuss this anyway. Because we've been doing this for now 130 episodes, and people might not know what No More Murder Hobos means. So how did you come up with the name No More Murder Hobos, and what does it mean to you?
Okay, so a murder hobo is traditionally in role-playing games what player characters are called when they are just running through the storyline and going up and basically going, "Oh, yes, small child, who can I murder for you today to help you with your problems?" And then just taking the gold and moving on. It's kind of a slur for characters who don't have any real depth or no real drive or no backstory or interests. So no more murder hobos is the slogan of we must end this. Everyone has a backstory. Everyone has some sort of drive. Everyone's character has something to it if you think about it. No matter how small it is, you are not a murder hobo. There is something in there. I don't care if you're one of those people who goes, "Nah, it's an MMO. You don't care about what your character is. It's an MMO." You're thinking about something. There's always something. You're playing the series for a reason. And so No More Murder Hobos is now a weekly thing that we've been doing for a while, where it's just a random question or a prompt. Normally, I try to keep them related to something that's going on in the game or the news that you can think about throughout the week, and it will help you build on how your character would react to that sort of situation.
Nice. Well done. Thank you for the reminder for everyone, because it's been a while. We've had new people listening, and they're probably like, "No more murder hobos. What does that mean?" So I just figured, why not?
Yep. And since that is a very long explanation, I don't tend to say it every week.
It's true. It's very true.
And so, do you have a question for us this week?
Oh, I do. So Golden Pursuits, you're getting the fancy house in the Rift. It's bordering the Rift in Cyrodiil. Well, the thing is, it's this giant, massive house over by the Skald's Retreat. The Skald's Retreat is this island in the middle of the Rift where the bards and when King Yorn was a prince himself would go and do bardic things and stuff. So this is a place the king is hanging out. What did you do to earn this house? To earn a house so close to the king of Skyrim's vacation area? What did you do to earn this place? The more wild of your tale, the better. Be a true skald and tell us your tales.
Ooh. It's been a long time since I did that quest. I made Vermina angry. I don't know. I don't remember that one fully.
No. You're gonna think about it. You're gonna think about it. We're gonna revisit this one. You get to tell me next week.
Oh boy. Okay. Maybe I'll go redo that quest again. Okay. Never, do you remember? What are you doing?
What am I doing?
Well, I mean, how did you get your house there?
This is the house we got from the pursuits.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I did have to venture into some nasty little caves, and I even think I went into a Daedric realm and had to, get rid of some big bads to make the area around safer. Not the area around the retreat per se, but just Tamriel, so that a little less threatening.
This is the most generic answer ever, but it works.
Sorry.
No, I didn't mean it in a bad way. I'm just... That sounded really bad. Sorry, I didn't mean it like that. I'm gonna mute now.
I'm looking forward to your in-depth answer next week as well. And if anyone else thinks they have a really great answer, you can email us those at snugpodcast@gmail.com.
Were you done, Never? I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I'm good.
He's like, no, I'm good. I just hate my friend now. She's mean to me.
I didn't try to be mean, I'm sorry.
No, it wasn't you. I was referencing me. I was like, that's really generic, and I didn't mean it like that.
You were both very generic.
Yeah, I was, because I didn't remember. But I just went back and looked at the quest, so I'll have to...
Don't read too hard into it. It doesn't have to be that specific quest. It's what crazy things, what is your amazing tale that you can tell of your quest that piqued the interest of someone to reward you with this house in this specific area.
Okay.
I hung out with talking ravens.
Some points you can look at is like what Never's doing.
Nice.
You can look at what is in the list of golden pursuits and apply that to your tale. You can look at like what Crazy is doing and look at the quests that are surrounding the retreat and apply that to your tale. Or you can come up with any other crazy story you have. What did you do to impress Yoren or his house Carl, or did you find a key, or just a couple different starting points. But this is a really big house in a really good location. Not amazing location. It's not close enough to a way shrine for me to be happy or buy a big enough city. But lore-wise, it's a really good location. So how did you get it? Let us know. I want to know your crazy stories.
Do tell.
And since I won't be here next week, this will be the normal murder solo question again next week, and you guys can say your stories.
Okay. I'm nervous. I'm already sweating about it. I don't know what I'm gonna do. There's too much. I'm just kidding. I'll come up with something.
Okay.
I can't
I didn't
wait.
realize it was like that. I thought we were being more specific. I probably could have come up with something better on the spot.
I can't wait to hear what you're going to come up with and how non-generic it is.
Oh my gosh. I'm the worst. This always happens
I can't
to
wait
me.
to listen to
I
that
hugged you
episode.
last. I called you generic.
Mm-hmm. That is okay. That is okay. Because you know
Glad
what?
you're still my friend.
Do you know what else I discovered while I was doing all those generic things?
What?
That there weren't no Dwemer there either.
Awesome. Incredible.
So, yeah. That it? We done?
That's it. We did
I
it.
think so. Oh,
Now just on to
goodness.
announcements.
All right. Well, we do have a guild if you are interested. If you want to come and hang out with people that are less generic than me, then
my gosh. Here
then
we go again.
then you can do so. Our guild is the Lore Seekers Guild. We're available on all three platforms, so you can come and hang out with us regardless of where you are at. You will need Discord to do so. And as long as you've got Discord, head over to loreseekers.club and follow the links there. you'll get brought into Discord, brief application process, and that usually gets reviewed. And as long as you're a good fit for us and we're a good fit for you, we can usually have that approved within a few days, and get you in, and you can come hang out with us. As for the PlayStation Guild, which is what we are all three a part of, and the other two are a part of the PC Guild as well, but I'm too generic for PC. But if you want to come and hang out with us on PlayStation and run some events, we've got a few events. Would someone like to share those?
There is Mondays with Moki, fishing or Cyrodiil. They're always fishing for something. The question is what? Treacherous Tuesdays Dungeons. This is more of an informal event. There's a sign up in the Discord. Normally also followed up by posting and looking for group, trying to find friends. It's a day we set aside to focus on dungeons, whether it's a lore dungeon, hard mode, someone just needs help getting through on story mode. Let your guildies know. And then we have Fearless Fridays with Arthuria Dragoon, where we go on the quest to be undaunted.
Undaunted? Undaunted?
Undaunted.
We are undaunted?
Undaunted.
With the undaunted daily pledges.
To all of the first-time listeners, we promise that that's a thing. That's a gag. It's a thing we do.
It is, and we have probably repeated ourselves a few times now.
Hey, did you guys know that we can get cheap viewers on streamboo.com?
I did know that, and did you know that I am bringing the banhammer down right now?
Yeah.
Whack them with Volendrong. Go for it.
Block, report, and block. Bam.
Yeah.
Every week, there's one. Ugh.
Yeah, we get emails with them too.
Ugh.
Anyway, if you would like to tell me your wonderful tale of how you earned your house so close to the Skull's Retreat, you can let us know on social media, on X at Snugpodcast, to our email address at snugpodcast@gmail.com, or if you are listening and you would like to watch us live, you can go to twitch.tv/snugpodcast or YouTube at Snugpodcast, where you can watch us live, where we generally film around the same time every Sundas evening. However, if you are watching us live and we kind of film too late or too early for you at a weird time of day, but you actually do enjoy our content and like hanging out with us, one, we're appreciative. Two, you can find us using your Sigic devices on your podcatcher of choice.
Indeed, indeed. All right, well, that's another show in the pod.
No, it's another bundle of worms in the pot.
Another bundle of worms
in the can.
in the pot.
Yes.
Hey,
I was gonna say pod initially, like Snugpod. No. Okay.
Do you
Awesome.
do you know if another worm bites the dust? Another worm
I
bites
guess we'll have.
the dust, because worms kind of eat the dirt as they go.
Well, we'll have to find out in the update.
Yeah, it depends where we ultimately end up. Kill this little Metamarco knockoff, this Wish Metamarco knockoff. Are we gonna kill them in a place that's dusty? Is it gonna be on the beach, or is it gonna be somewhere else? Who knows?
So maybe another worm eats the sand.
And then it looks like you're gonna
Maybe
have
they'll
to
be
knock off
writhing.
their face mask first too. So who knows?
So we're going to a masquerade party?
Well,
Looks
no,
like
but
it.
if you're around corpses and stuff, you should be wearing a mask. You should have something covering your face. That is not safe stuff to be breathing in.
Yucky.
Safety first.
Okay.
Wear PPE, even in fantasy worlds.
Mm-hmm.
Bosmer don't like diseased meat.
This is true.
I can keep going. Please end the podcast.
Will do. All right, everybody. Well, that wraps it up for us. If you've been hanging out with us live, thank you. If you're listening to us at another time, thank you as well. We will try to be back next week to do this again. But until then, take care of yourself, take care of others, be a decent person, and we shall see you soon.
Bye.
Sleep well, Tamriel. Ended.